Hey everybody, Peter Marquette 1223 here with a very exciting lantern that I finally get to show you. It has been a project that I took and sent out and had done by the master of Dietz Lanterns himself, Woody Kirkman, the owner of W.T. Kirkman and Company, a company that manufactures replacement lantern parts for vintage lanterns and continues to make certain models of lanterns today, such as the Dietz Little Wizard, the Dietz Junior, the Dietz D-Light, and various others. However, he also does some fantastic restorations and has, in my opinion, one of the best lantern collections in the country and is unbelievably knowledgeable. But what I sent for him to fix up was what I believe was a pure chance find. This is a Dietz number 999 railroad lantern marked for the Richmond, Fredericksburg and Potomac Railroad. This is the first time I've ever seen the Richmond, Fredericksburg and Potomac marking on this frame. I'm sure there are other ones out there, but the most common frame markings that you can find on these that I have seen have been New York Central, which ordered a boatload of these, and other Dietz lanterns, Baltimore and Ohio, Pittsburgh and Lake Erie, and the Gulf Mobile and Ohio. However, I have not seen an RF&P frame until now. And when I got this thing, it was pretty tired looking, pretty neglected. All the paint was faded, dirty, chipping, and there was some pretty bad surface rust in places. However, I took and sent it out to have it done by Woody Kirkman, and the reason why I did this was because of the color blue that it's painted. And that is the original factory Dietz blue called Mariner Blue, according to Woody Kirkman. And it was matched off in new old stock $9.99 from Woody's collection using, I believe, what is called, if I remember, a stethograph, which basically is a camera that is aimed at the paint or shade of color on Woody's $9.99, and it dissects the paint and basically gets the color code for the paint so it can be made. And since Mariner Blue has not been made in several decades, this paint was not available anymore, so it had to be made in a special batch. And I must say that it looks very faithful to the original. There were a few clean spots on the $9.99 before it was sent out, but it was nothing like this. I do have a few photos that I will share at the end of the video to show what it looked like before, and I think you'll be quite amazed at the transformation of this beauty. One of the interesting things about this lantern when I got it is apparently the fuel tank must have been lost early on, because when I found it, or received it, I guess I should say, because it is an eBay purchase, the bottom portion, basically from the air holes in the cup all the way down to the bottom, was actually full of wax, which obviously shows that somebody has burned a candle in it. So I had to actually put the lantern in the freezer for a day or two to get that old wax to shrink and harden up, and I took a flathead screwdriver and a hammer and I chipped away at the wax until I hit metal. And that is probably one of the more interesting things I've found in a lantern so far. I'm going to get into some of the specs of this lantern. This is the last kerosene railroad lantern I believe that Dietz made. The Vesta production ended before the $9.99 production did, I'm pretty sure, because Dietz subsequently destroyed the molds for the Vesta, so you cannot remake the Vestas. I believe the $9.99 molds are also lost. However, I can also be wrong about that because I've never seen a new run of these. So that to me would indicate that the molds are lost. However, if you look at this lantern, you can see some very interesting traits that it obviously borrowed from the Dietz Vesta. such as the 2 vertical flat wires. The base style is the same, and the locking handle is also the same. Squeeze in order to unlock the handle, and so forth. Even the little bend in the bail is also the same as the Dietz Vestas. I'm pretty sure that when the 999 was designed, they basically started with their then bestseller, the Dietz Vesta, and basically just designed a new lantern from there. This lantern was designed to compete directly with the Adlake Caro series lanterns, which were obviously big sellers at the time. Tall gold lanterns were being phased out by then, and they wanted something that was a little bit more standard, I'm sure. So the 999 is what they came up with. I'm going to get a little in detail on this and show you that paint work. As you can, well, you really can't see it now, can you? As you can see, maybe, I might have to take and move the camera. Though light is not exactly on my side today. I'm going to take and move the camera itself. As you can see, there is some pitting on this metal surface. That is to be expected due to the fact that the lantern did have rust on it. It's obviously not going to be silky smooth anymore, but that blue is true to the original. And you look on the side here, that RF&P RR marking stands out, and I saw that in the pictures, and that's what made me jump on it, because I'm pretty sure I won't see another one for a long time. You see enough of these in New York Central and other road names to where they almost get sort of annoying, especially in New York Central, because that's basically all that you find for Dietz anymore are New York Central, unless you really know who to talk to and where to look. Going to open this lantern up has a latch very similar to the Adlake Caro series lamps, and a globe retainer that's also very similar. The red Corning globe is not marked, however this is the globe that was in it. It was the only original part that was basically in it, minus the globe retainer and the bail. The fuel tank, like I said, was missing, however, being the master that is Woody Kirkman, he put a replacement unmarked font in it, just like the original, courtesy of W.T. Kirkman. As you can see on the bottom is a, what does it say here? It is a registered at the U.S. Patent Office. So don't try making one of these. It's Woody's. The burner is a Dietz Convex new old stock, which would have been identical to what went into the 999s initially. And it is threaded, as you can see. It is not a twist-off pot, or a twist-off burner. And comes with a brand new wick in it, if I ever so desire to burn it. But I think I would probably never ever burn this one. It's a work of art. The bottom is, again, I'm going to have to lift you up here. I'm sorry about this. I usually don't do lantern videos this late in the day. But the bottom is nice and clean versus when I initially got it. It was totally full of candle wax. So that is a relief to see. And the retainer and spring. The spring actually had to be replaced in this lantern because it did not survive the chemical bath. The original spring was too far rotted by the time that Woody took and put this lantern back together. So a new one was made and installed, so it will basically last forever, which is awesome. So this thing is great. There's not much to go over on these. They're very relatively simple and easy to find. However, I do tend to think that the 999s are very underappreciated compared to most other rare lanterns, and I do think that the time to get them is now, while they continue to be underappreciated, because one day I have a feeling that these things are going to jump in value, and when that happens, you are going to find that people are going to hoard them and pay ridiculous amounts for them. So I would get yours now, especially if you can find one in a unique road name, such as the Richmond, Fredericksburg, and Potomac, or the Gulfmobile in Ohio. New York Central ones and unmarked versions are great to get into, especially if you want to familiarize yourself with a 999. However, I don't think that an NYC one is going to be worth a bunch of money. But you can you'll actually end up paying more for a New York Central 999 than you will a New York Central Vesta. So that tells you how common they are versus how rare they are, and that should say something. I think that this lantern is possibly worth close to around $200, which by the time I have my initial cost of purchase and what I have in it for the restoration, I would probably make a little bit. But again, though, these things just do not pop up in this road name, so depending on what somebody wants to pay for it and how badly they want it, it could definitely go higher than what I think I could get out of it. I've never seen an RF&P one up for sale until I bought mine, and I am very happy with my purchase and very happy with how the restoration turned out. This is all the railroad lanterns I have for now that I have gotten. I got 4 lanterns back from restoration, 3 of which had to get sent out, and 1 of which I actually bought because I never owned it before. An aluminum bale Adlake 200 marked for the Lehigh Valley with a clear cast globe. But anyway, I will always post new videos when I get a new model that I've never had the privilege of owning before, and the latest of which is the Dietz number 999 Railroad Lantern. 1223. Out.